Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone's doing great. If this is your first time here, then welcome. So I have been not putting this video off, but this, along with my how I found out my ex cheated on me through YouTube video, that is still coming. I am just gonna have to work my nerve up to that one. That is my whoo, that video is gonna be rough. Between those two videos, I've been wanting to do them for so long on my channel, but they are very, very vulnerable, as evidenced by the title of what I told you guys the other one's gonna be. They're very, very vulnerable. So as you can see with the title of this one, I'm gonna be talking about my experience with 23andMe. 23andMe is a genetic testing database where you can find out about your ancestry, and in the past few years, they've really gone full force with also doing a lot of health trait information to kind of help you with your healthy lifestyle, see what type of markers you might have for various health concerns and things like that. They've really made it a lot more robust in that sense since the first time I did it. But 23andMe started learning more about where you come from. That ties into family, and I don't have to tell you guys, family can be a touchy, difficult subject. So I've been just nervous about this one. I'm gonna be talking about my experience overall with 23andMe, share my results, and kind of get into would I do it again, knowing what I know now. So leading up into why I wanted to do 23andMe in the first place, I have mentioned in my live streams, if you guys already subscribed to me and have seen my live streams, you know we talk about everything under the sun. So to give you the condensed version, I was adopted in an intrafamilial adoption. My biological dad's mom, my paternal grandmother, she is the one who adopted me along with her husband. They have had custody of me since I was about 1, and I was officially adopted I think when I was 11, but I was theirs in all intents and purposes. So with me being adopted by family, I did have information about where do we come from? What are we? That's a question that I have gotten. So when my mom first got me permanently, people from her job, I guess, that didn't know she had a grandchild, thought that she had adopted a child not related to her. They would ask her, oh, did you get her from China, or is she Japanese? She would get that question a lot when I was a baby, and pretty much from the time I was really little until maybe college, I would get the what are you question a lot. I've heard Hawaiian. I remember one time I was taking a test in 5th grade. It was one of those standardized tests where the kids had to fill out the race section, and they didn't let us do it. Our teacher did it, and I saw she kept looking at the paper and looking at me, looking at the paper and looking at me. She ended up selecting Alaskan Native. I've heard Samoan, Cambodian. I've gotten Blasian probably more than anything in my life. People have thought that I was half black, half Asian. My best friend also is half Korean, so in high school I used to wear my hair straight all the time back when I had a relaxer, and people would think we were cousins or brother and sister. So I don't know when the question of what are we ever came up. I just remember being told that we were majority Native American, black, and white. When I was growing up, we went to a lot of powwows. There's a specific tribe in North Carolina called the Halawasaponi tribe, and that's where they said the majority of our family was descended from, basically. We didn't really have any written records or anything, so I was always very curious to find out what the specifics are. I heard about 23andMe, I think when Henry Louis Gates did that Where Do You Come From special on PBS. This was a long time ago, but he did a special basically of people tracing their lineage, their genealogy. I remember it was $600 to do the test, and at the time that I heard about this, I think I was 17 or 18, so that was not happening. So when I got my first big girl job after college, the price had gone way, way down. When you get the kit, you spit in this tube, you register the tube online so that it's tied to you. I did this 12 years ago, so I don't know what the process is now when you're first doing it, but they make you sign a waiver that says that if you find out any family secrets as a result of doing this test, they cannot be liable, and they're just warning you that that can be a possibility. If you guys know me and my channel, I am not tech savvy in any way, shape, or form. I am barely hanging on by a thread when it comes to most technology. I have screenshots on my phone of my results to show you guys. So this is what it looks like. I hope you guys can see because I've got my ring light, and all the different colors represent a different aspect of your genetic makeup based on region. Reddish, pinkish colors right here all represent different regions of Africa, and the blue right here represents different areas in Europe. A little bit of yellow there represents different regions in Asia. You see that little tiny slice right here, that teeny little slice of gray, that's undefined. So that used to be a lot bigger. Another cool thing about 23andMe is that they're always refining even past specimens, I guess we would call it. As technology gets more advanced, they're always refining. So over the years, my results have gotten more and more specific since I first did this. Again, I did it 12 years ago, so the percentages have changed a little bit. I haven't seen this actually in a few years. I don't really check in on it really frequently, but I did for this video, and they have gotten into the nitty-gritty of the results. For a continent like Africa, which is so huge, so diverse, it gives you a broad area and then it breaks it down based on the specifics from your genetic makeup. So for example, right here it says that I am 51.9% sub-Saharan African. So then it gets into the nitty-gritty, how much percentage of West African, Nigerian, and then next is European with 44.6%, and then it breaks that down, Northwestern European, British, French. It won't let me screenshot like the whole thing. It just has this, it's weird, but I wanted to screenshot the whole thing to show you guys how much it breaks down the countries. And the third for me is East Asian and Indigenous American. Indigenous American 1.6%, Chinese and Southeast Asian 0.4%. As I mentioned earlier, growing up, I'd always been told we have a significant amount of Native American ancestry, and for this to tell me basically that I had just a teeny tiny amount, I was just shocked. My whole family was shocked. We were like, we just got a little bit. So another thing that 23andMe does, it gives you the opportunity to connect with other people that you are related to. When I first signed up, they had a thing where you could list your preferences, like do you want your data to be shared with other people to make these connections? Do you not want it shared at all? Do you want people to be able to contact you to kind of talk about, you know, your family connection? So you can really tailor it based on your comfort level. So I was all on the high after getting my results, like, oh, this is so cool. So I turned it on so that people could contact me, and y'all, every day I was getting something like, you have 73 new cousins, you have 300 new cousins, and it was all in my email. It was so overwhelming and it was a lot. So I ended up turning off that feature eventually because it was just coming at you fast. It was cousins left and right. Something that 23andMe used to do, but I can definitely see why they stopped, is they also used to put who you were related to as far as celebrities. So I can only imagine the messages people started getting, like, hey cuz, can I have whatever? So I can imagine the celebrities were like, can we not do that anymore? Can't go back and see that anymore. But it said that I was cousins with Eva Longoria, Henry Louis Gates Jr., which is again pretty cool, Mario Batali, even though I think he's involved in some type of Me Too situations. I'm not gonna really claim him. Now at the top of the video I kind of talked about how they've branched out from the Ancestry. That's still like the core of what they do. I think they've definitely expanded as far as using the information from the samples to give you personalized information on your health. There are things you can find out now, like if you're a carrier for the BRCA1 gene, which is something that hits very close to me because we do have breast cancer in my family, age-related macular degeneration, if you have an increased likelihood for type 2 diabetes, celiac disease, just a lot of different things now. So you can get as detailed as you want to. They have different categories, I think now, different things you can order. But at the time that I did this, it was just the basic Ancestry type of deal. Maybe with that as they advanced, they added some of the health stuff for us who did it a long time ago. I don't know if I will pursue any of the more in-depth stuff because they do have a ton of reports for me. I think you can opt out of that. I'm not sure. Again, with something like this where you're literally sending a piece of your genetic material to some place that's going to be stored forever, I highly recommend doing your research to see what you're comfortable with. I know that 23andMe is now partnered with a medical group or a pharmaceutical group, I think, and they are testing a lot of the samples, using it for medication research to try to find cheaper alternatives to the ridiculous costs of medication now. So I'm okay with my genetic material being used for something like that, but if you're not, I completely understand. Just kind of read through everything, see what you can opt out for, see what you can opt in for. I also ordered the kit for 2 of my very close family members. The cool thing about it is that it connects you to them, so you can see how your similarities match up, you can see how different traits match up. It is very, very in-depth. It goes into so much. So not only are you getting into like the 23 chromosomes of it all, the geographics of it all, but you also get into, like I mentioned, the health stuff. They also have like predictions of your physical traits, other things like if you're scared of heights or if you're afraid of public speaking, both of which I have very high markers for, and I completely agree. So of course there's variables of everything. They don't get everything right. For example, it said that based on my genetics, I'm predicted as having wavy hair. And if this is your first time visiting my channel, hello again and welcome. But my hair is currently straightened. If you see on my channel and evidenced by my name, AshkinsCurls, my hair naturally is very, very curly. So the fact that it said that I was most likely to have wavy hair, I thought that was interesting. So it gives you predictors. It predicted that I had little or no hair at birth, which was true. I was a bald little baby. It even predicts stretch marks. I am a proud carrying member of some stretch marks. And I think it's really interesting because the other person that I got a test for, it said that she has a very slight chance of having stretch marks. And that's the case too. It says I'm less likely to have flat feet, but y'all, these things are flat like a Flintstone. They also got it wrong on the hair thickness. It says I'm less likely to have thick hair. That is not the case. My hair is ridiculously thick, especially in its naturally curly state. It's really, really thick. You even get into how likely you are to being bitten by mosquitoes. It says that I'm likely bitten more often than others, which is definitely the case. And this is not even everything. This is just a little snapshot. Speaking of when you have other family members connected to this, as I mentioned, you can link them to your account, or I think it might link it automatically. I'm not sure how it is now, but it links it, which is really, really cool because you can like start to build your family tree. I have mine and one of my family members here. So it goes into the differences there between myself and my family member. Just like the choice is very individual as to why you may want to do a 23andMe test, the ways that you can also use the information afterwards is pretty much limitless. The only way I could get a more detailed breakdown of the different countries within each continent was by going into the space that I share with another family member. That's the only way I could get a picture for you guys. There are so many things that were not here prior when I first did this that are now here. I just think that's really, really cool. So that's a snapshot of some of the African countries, as well as the East Asian and Indigenous American info. Further breakdown of some of the other European info. Now, one of the coolest things about this website is that families can bond over their results, and that's what I thought was gonna happen when I ended up doing the test with my two family members. So this is where I'm gonna get very vague because it's family stuff, so I don't want to get too into it, and plus these family members watch my channel, so I want to keep this very surface level. And my family in general as a whole have very differing views on how they see the results. So that turns into a lot of friction. Based on my family's history and my genetics, I have pretty much down the line African and European ancestry. Based on the history and based on the area, the South, I don't think that admixture was very consensual. There's a lot there, and that is the understatement of the millennium. And people in my family have differing feelings about that. So some family members are very into the one drop rule. Some family members feel the complete opposite. So when we got these results, it wasn't much of a bonding past the point of just like, it was very cool to see our stuff connect to each other. But when we got into those deeper conversations, the conversations were not pleasant, to say the least. And I've been to family reunions with some family members who've also done 23andMe or done like Ancestry.com, and we would discuss our results. And some family members, you could tell, were clearly uncomfortable with the history behind those results. In fact, we barely talk about the whole 23andMe thing now because it devolves into arguments 9 times out of 10. As I stated throughout this video, I did this so long ago. I'm a completely different person. My worldview is totally different, and there are things I didn't really consider prior to this, that talking with other people, reading articles, a general distrust of most things now, have kind of changed my view on it. For example, I had a coworker who I told them all about my 23andMe thing, and she said she would never ever do it because she doesn't want her genetic information to be stored anywhere. And I hadn't thought about that as a 22, 23-year-old. I just was like, I want to know where I come from. The job where we were at, we were investigators. She was a fantastic investigator. She was amazing. So she thinks about things very pragmatically. She thinks about things outside the box. She's just freaking awesome. She was really cool. She made me start to question some things. So she was like, they can use your genetics to clone you in the future. And to be honest, when I first did 23andMe, I pretty much blazed past most of the consent stuff because I was so excited to get my results. I should have read everything, but I didn't. So when she started putting it like that, I was like, I just handed over my entire genetic blueprint. That's good job, actually. True crime is one of the things I am most interested in. You can catch me on any given day. I'm listening to some type of documentary. One of my favorites on YouTube, Stephanie Harlow, she was actually talking about 23andMe. They've been in the media a lot. If you guys remember the Golden State Killer, he was caught because his family members submitted their sample to one of these sites. It wasn't 23andMe. I thought it was this whole time, but I looked up an article before doing this video and it was not 23andMe. They basically were like, we don't want nothing to do with that. Definitely do your research. Again, I'll try to link that article also in the description box so you guys can check it out, because I think it's really illuminating for 23andMe, because they specifically are like, we're not doing this. If anything, we're going to use the information for medical advancements, but we're not going to sell your personal information to a third party. They were able to find him based on the DNA he left at the crime scenes, all linked to this family member. If I had a relative that was a serial killer and that was doing all that horrible stuff that he did, I would be fine with my genetic material being used to catch them, because screw someone like that. I'm comfortable with my information being used for medical advancements that can help people, but it's that gray area that has kind of made me a little nervous that I will never have any say-so in at this point. Like, I don't know when I'm long gone from this world, so it's kind of one of those things where I've already done it, so I might not ever know where it leads. So with all that being said, would I do 23andMe again? I want to say yes, but I will say that not on the website's fault in any way, shape, or form at all. I think the website is fantastic. It is so informative. I like the fact that it has that line between being very scientific and kind of homey at the same time. Like, I don't know, there are little things that they put in there that make you feel very connected. I would just say that my personal experience, family and all that other stuff, didn't give me the experience that I had hoped to have, but that is in no way, shape, or form 23andMe's thing. They give you the data, and whatever happens afterwards is kind of what happens. It is really cool to see like all the different regions that make up me. Beyond that, my experience hasn't been super positive for those reasons that I mentioned, like the personal. That's my full and complete experience with 23andMe. I hope that this was helpful. I really wanted to be as honest as I could in this video. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps to boost my channel, helps more people to see this video. And also, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe. I do everything from curly hair videos, Trader Joe's hauls, videos like this that are very vulnerable and uncomfortable. I'm looking at you, cheating boyfriend story. I'm probably gonna cry on camera. That one is gonna be a roller coaster, you guys, so buckle up. I also do travel vlogs. I have my first solo trip to California coming next month, and I'm really excited. I'm really scared. I've never traveled by myself before. That vlog is going to be full of good food and beautiful places because I am staying right by the beach, so I am really excited about that. So travel vlog coming soon of my first solo trip. I wish I could take Mace with me, but you are not allowed to have it on the plane. So thank you guys so much for watching this. Take care, everyone. Bye.